first time in nearly a year of Big Ten play, Michigan State has lost back-to-back games. They'll try to stop the slide tonight as Notre Dame eyes a sweep in Game 2 of a pivotal Big Ten weekend series. And so we welcome you inside the Compton Family Ice Arena. Tony Simeone alongside the 14-year NHL man Steve Conroy. Happy to have you with us for Game 2. Last night, Steve, it was a really entertaining hockey game between these two clubs. The story for Notre Dame earlier this year was all about Landon Slaggert scoring, but last night we saw the defensemen come alive. They were a real key in that victory for the Irish.
They were, and if you know anything about Jeff Jackson, their head coach, it's always attention to detail and attention to defense, and we're going to pay close attention to the defense because they're a big part of the offense. They scored 2 goals, the first 2 goals of this hockey game. Ryan Seedham, 26 seconds after Michigan State had scored, and then later on, this is the game winner. Master Domenico to Bavaro. He finds a partly open net. Yeah, so 2 defensemen get involved, but it's also the defense too. And I thought defensively, this team was real good. Jake Boltman, one-on-one. That's a perfect play. Watch the sacrifice here by Boltman. Blocks a shot. He's injured on the play. They get it going the other way and end up scoring a goal. So great defense, leading to offense. And that's exactly what Jeff Jackson wants out of his team each and every night. And we should give a shout out to Brock Shahan, the assistant coach with Notre Dame. He's in charge of the defensemen. He has given these guys a lot of confidence to jump up on the play offensively.
Well, let's talk defense on the other side for Michigan State. They did not score last night the way they have throughout most of the year, but we talked about it coming in. Artem Levshunov, maybe going to go in the top 5, maybe top 3 next year in the draft. He didn't score, but he lived up to the hype.
Yeah, it was his defense that really stood out. And keep in mind, he's just 18 years of age. And as you mentioned, he's going to be a very high draft pick in next year's NHL draft. Here you see a 100-foot stretch pass. They're on the power play. He faked a drop pass, went right up the gut, put his man in the clear. That's literally a 100-foot pass. Here, making it look easy. That was a 3-on-2. Just using his stick, breaking up a play, and again, using his stick. Great eye-hand coordination. Picks it out of midair, gets it going the other way. Yeah, he had a special last night defensively for Michigan State.
3 more Big Ten points are on the line tonight in the 4th and final regular season matchup between Notre Dame and Michigan State. Puck drop is coming up next. Almost set for Game 2 between Notre Dame and Michigan State. Irish looking for the sweep. Here's the netminders, same 2 that were between the pipes last night. Freshman on the right, Trey Augustine, has been outstanding for Michigan State all year. 5th-year senior, reigning Big Ten goaltender of the year, Ryan Bischel, on the left. He got the win. Augustine may have had some of the more impressive stops. We'll see what they have in store in Game 2 tonight. Important game for both teams. At this point in the year, there really is very little margin for error in the Big Ten or NCAA. Notre Dame, after the win last night, immediately jumped to 17th in the pairwise. Then you check the computers this morning, they're at 19th. Michigan State's at 8th, so we'll see how it all shakes out. I'm not going to get bogged down in computer rankings. It's pretty simple. You want to win Game 2 here tonight if you're either of these teams.
But it's always the toughest to win, Tony, especially when you win in night 1. They did that Friday night. They're going to see a Michigan State team here that's maybe got a little bit of a burr under their saddle.
They are 6-1-0 on Saturdays this year. Michigan State lost their first game on a Saturday, which is usually Game 2 in these weekend series. Last weekend against Minnesota, they won Game 1 in dramatic fashion. Came from behind in the second game, or lost the second game, and we'll see if they can get back on track on Saturdays. They've also lost back-to-back Big Ten games for the first time since February 10th of last year against Michigan. As this shot goes wide, rebound opportunities in tight, and Bischel has to sprawl to make his first save. It was Tiernan Choudy who was in close quarters.
I thought Choudy had a chance to maybe shoot it on his backhand. I don't think he thought he had the angle, so he tried to get it to his forehand, and that allowed Notre Dame to kind of readjust.
Choudy scored a game-winning goal here in the Big Ten tournament last year in this building to win that opening round contest against the Irish. Almost had the opening goal tonight. If you weren't with us last night, Michigan State led for less than 30 seconds. They did score the first goal, and then Notre Dame scored 4 unanswered to win 4-1 in Game 1. It was the first time this year that Michigan State lost after scoring the first goal. They're now 14-1-1 when they score first.
Well, that's why it was so important. The Ryan Seedham goal, literally 26 seconds after Michigan State had taken the lead.
Red Savage feeding one across for Joey Larson, leading goal scorer. Fired it over, comes out to Sturback, whose shot is kicked out by Bischel.
Larson can shoot a puck, and you can tell, even though he missed, you can hear it all the way up here. It hit the boards, and it shook the building.
Leads the Spartans with 15 goals on the season. They've not had a 20-goal scorer since 2010. Approaching 15 years since that mark. Love to see him get to 20 this year and end that streak. It was Corey Tropp 14 seasons ago as the Irish have the puck in their own end. Tyler Carpenter up on that third line. Still no Grant Silinoff for the Irish, out for the second straight game with a lower body injury. He plays with Justin Janicki and Hunter Strand. Strand has the puck, shoots from an angle. Augustine does what we saw last night, stops the shots that he should.
Well, earlier in this hockey game, Shouty with an opportunity. Watch him to the left side of the net. I thought he could have shot it right away. He decided to go back to the forehand. It didn't really work out because he ran out of time and space. Notre Dame did a real good job of crowding the blue paint, getting back into that high danger area.
Shouty's a guy, again, mentioned the big goal last year. He's now 8 games in a row without a goal as Moynihan fires a one-timer that goes just wide. He's not scored a point since December 28th to get Shouty going. The puck goes down below the goal line of Michigan State. The captain, Nash Nienhuis, being worked on by the Irish captain, Landon Slaggert. He dislodges the puck, and they go back to work. Cole Knuble, top-line centerman for Notre Dame. Carries it towards the corner, tried to feed it for Slaggert in the middle. Levschnoff takes it away behind the net. Artem Levschnoff projected to go in the top 5 of next. Well, it's really this year's NHL draft, I guess.
It is. I said next year, but it is this year. Yeah. Keep forgetting it's 24.
The years are flying by. Just be over the summer. See where Levschnoff goes as Shouty intercepts a feed in his own end. Up ahead for Patrick Geary. Sends one through the neutral zone. Tanner Kelly, the junior forward's there. Comes back for Shouty. He'll take some time and drive it in. Michael Mastrodomenico assisted on the game winner to Drew Bavaro. A big one-timer with about 8 minutes to go in the third period. 4-1 the final. It's a misleading final. This game was tied 52 minutes into the contest last night before the Irish got the big go-ahead goal.
Yeah, that Bavaro goal was huge. You talked about Mastrodomenico. That was a perfect pass. But what started the play, Danny Nelson won't get an assist on the play, but a huge hit really started it.
He had quite the stat line last night for someone that didn't score in the game as the puck comes out for David Gucciardi. His shot is gloved by Bischel, and he'll take a whistle.
Routine save for Ryan Bischel from distance. You're not going to beat him on the glove if he can see it.
A little bit more than 4 minutes into this one as face-off is drawn back into the Irish end. Face-offs will be a number we keep an eye on tonight. Michigan State won 12 of the first 18. They had a big edge in the circle early last night, and then Notre Dame came on strong. They finished with a 32-28 margin. They won 26 of the final 42, and they've won the first 4 face-offs tonight.
I think it's always an important part of any hockey game. You establish possession. You know, the other team's got to fight to get it back. You give up a lot more energy trying to get a puck back.
Justin Janicki tries to turn the corner, drops it back for a shot from Zach Pluzinski that deflects wide. And now the Spartans come out the other direction. It's Lebster on his own. Reed Lebster, the graduate transfer from UMass, where he played 113 games in 4 seasons, has it, and waits for reinforcements behind him. Gavin O'Connell had the puck go off his stick, and Ryan Seedham collects it and drives it in for Notre Dame.
Really like that play by Justin Janicki just 20 seconds ago. He had a couple of assists last night, and has it going here tonight.
Brennan Ali with a big hit. Dropped it off for Nelson. Now Ali's behind the net, going to work as Trevor Janicki hunts after a puck. Irish have a good pep in their step here early. Notre Dame's won 4 in a row. Starting to play the brand of hockey that probably anticipated coming into the season. They're averaging close to 5 goals a game over their last 4. They're right at 4.75, 19 goals in their last 4 games for Notre Dame.
Yeah, nothing on the power play last night, although they did have 2 opportunities. But yeah, Jeff Jackson said as much. He likes the chemistry of this team, thinks all lines are contributing, and likes the way they're going.
Landon Slaggert for Knuble, back to Rivaro, fires! And Augustine shrugs it off.
Starting to look like Boston College out there.
Top line's confidence really seems to grow every week. As this pass is intercepted by Moynihan, he tries to spring Mastro Domenico. It's out of his reach. He then lays a huge hit as Pascal takes the better end of that one. Moynihan then has a pass deflect up high and all the way back. Who gets there first? It's Fisher. Moynihan for Carter Slaggert. Across it goes. Pluzinski has his shot ricochet to the corner. Approaching 7 minutes into the game, Notre Dame seems to have tilted the ice a little bit to the left side of the rink.
Well, you can tell they play better when they're playing physical, and I'm not talking about dirty physical, but they're finishing their checks, especially in the offensive zone, and that typically leads to turnovers and chances.
That time, it's taken away in the neutral zone. Manisto, backhand shot, rebound try for Shouty, couldn't connect clean.
I think that was Fleming who just got a stick in at the last second. That rebound, Juicy, just laying about 20 feet outside of the net.
Nash Nienhuis, Spartan captain, shoots. And Bischel was able to see it the whole way, and he makes the save.
Well, Justin Janicki talked about his 2 assists last night. Liked the way he skates. Looked like he had the defender beat, but he button hooks, finds Pluzinski coming in late. And a nice save there from Augustine. A little later on, it's Bavaro. That was the BC reference. That was a great pass by Cole Knuble, spotting the 4th guy on the rush. And Bavaro with the high riser. Bavaro, of course, scored the game-winning goal last night. That ended up as his 6th on the year.
Yeah, he got his 6th. You mentioned Knuble as well. He picked up his 6th, and he was goalless for a large portion of this year. Only had an empty netter until he broke out right around the turn of the calendar. I don't know about you, Steve, but he looks like a different player since he had that hat trick back at the end of December.
It's amazing what confidence will do for you, and I agree. I think it was his best game of the year. He wants the puck, and he wants to be a difference maker out there, and he was.
Lev Schnapp across for Nienhuis. Broken stick, took a funny hop onto Bischel, and then it's swept out into the Spartan zone.
Yeah, Strand got his stick in the alley of that Nienhuis blast. It broke, and fortunately the puck ended up over the blue line so he could head to the bench.
Joey Larson had it for a moment. There was a swarm of Irish sweaters around him, so he gave it up. Now the Irish go to work in the Spartan zone. Danny Nelson, freshman for Notre Dame, 2nd-round pick of the Islanders last summer. Had it taken from him, comes back out through center. Here's Red Savage. This line's listed as the 3rd line for Michigan State, but as you pointed out last night, Steve, they've accounted for the most goals of any line so far that's in the lineup tonight for the Spartans.
Notre Dame did a real good job on all their lines, really, just keeping them to the outside. You know, playing between the dots, the face-off dots, you know, down the middle of the ice. And as a result, Michigan State really didn't get a lot of prime looks.
Michigan State came into the weekend top 5 in shots on goal per game, right around 37. They only managed 31 last night. And came in averaging over 4 goals per game at 4.1, top 5 in that category as well. And they were held to just a single tally. As they're on the move right here, hunting for the first tally. And it's Dorwart whose shot goes wide, then a deflected puck towards Bischel. Didn't have a lot of steam on it, and he was able to stop it and get a whistle.
Well, Tony, you talked about the number of shots that this team takes. They're 3rd in NCAA hockey, trailing Penn State, Western Michigan. High shot volume team.
Look at the conference.
Yeah, exactly. All 7 Big Ten teams. You see Dorwart there? He just had an opportunity, missed the net with a shot. You know, you can't have that happen. You got to try and hit the net because it might not be your shot that you score on, but if there's a rebound, it's the 2nd and 3rd opportunities you're looking for.
And Dorwart's the talented sophomore. Did pick up an assist last night on the face-off that led to the goal, the only goal from Isaac Howard. He's someone that got off to a great start, had 15 points in his first 12 games. As this puck's given away, Moynihan has it for Notre Dame.
Russell with the turnover. Nice pickup there by Moynihan.
Now Slaggert can go to work. Sends it out for Mastro Domenico, looking to shoot for deflection. Ricochets to the corner. Where Dorwart can retrieve it. Good feed to Levshnov, who has time and space to get it out of his end. Daniel Russell sends it in deep for the Spartans as the clock hits the midway point of the opening period. Seedham being worked on by Shouty. Great work by Shouty to take the puck from Seedham. It's the fourth Irish line out there going up against Michigan State's fourth line as well. Seedham backhands it off the glass, connects with a linesman through center. Jaden Davis for Notre Dame is run into by Pascal.
Jaden Davis with 4 shots last night on that fourth line.
Fourth line was good for the Irish last night, created all kinds of opportunities as Kelly gets his own rebound, sends it out high, then it's across for a drive from David Gucciardi. Ricochets off the boards, and Notre Dame has it moving the other direction. Maddox Fleming stops up, drops for Bavaro, dangerous spot, and he hit the outside of the post, or maybe caught a piece of Augustine.
Changed direction on the way, but really like that play by Maddox Fleming. Threw the brakes on, threw some snow, but found the late man.
Already a couple of opportunities for Drew Bavaro, who scored the game-winning goal last night for Notre Dame. He's had a couple of cracks at it here in the first period early on tonight. Shots right now 9-5 in favor of Michigan State. So they're clipping a little bit closer to their pace as this puck chips up and out of play. 8 minutes and 37 seconds are left in the opening period. No score between Notre Dame and Michigan State. There's a look at the head coaches. Jeff Jackson on the left, Adam Nightingale on the right. They have something in common. They both coach at the National Development Program. That's actually where Nightingale came from, and he's really turned this Spartan team around. A team that, of course, Jeff Jackson, he was Michigan State class of '78. So all kinds of ties between these two.
Yeah, a couple of Michigan-born coaches, and Jeff Jackson. You know, I remember talking to him about a month ago, saying how hard it is to win both games over a weekend.
Yeah.
Because obviously, you know, you win the first game, you feel good about yourself. The other team, though, they've got 24 hours to kind of regroup, and they're upset. And you know, they've got something to prove. And Michigan State has come out here with, as I mentioned a little earlier, a little bit more pep in their step, I would say.
I was listening to the Adam Nightingale show earlier this week, hosted by Scott Moore, who's the radio voice of the Spartans. That was the first topic they talked about after their split last weekend against Minnesota. You know, a split, I think you can view it pretty positively because, as you just alluded to and what you said Jeff Jackson mentioned, it is not easy to get sweeps in this conference. Certainly 6 whole points, 2 regulation wins, extremely difficult to come by.
Well, you know, team's going to make adjustments, and I don't think Nightingale was upset with the performance last night. We saw the 31 shots. Notre Dame had 19 blocked shots. So that's literally 50 shots directed towards the net. They probably missed the net 10 more times. So, you know, almost 60 pucks heading towards the net. And there's a penalty to Notre Dame. That Zach Luzinski will pick up a trip.
They haven't touched it yet, so Michigan State can try to go 6-on-5 here. They do get the extra attacker on. It's Howard for Pascal shooting, and Bischel makes an important save to prevent a 2-for-1 opportunity. Instead, a power play will come as a result.
Yeah, sometimes when you get chasing your own zone, this will happen. Zach Luzinski just trying to get to the puck. He lifted the stick earlier, tried to get to that loose puck, and Gavin O'Connell goes down, so he goes to the box.
Notre Dame penalty, number 26, 2 minutes, treading.
Now, Michigan State did score their lone goal on the power play. Kind of a lucky hop off of a face-off draw. It was Isaac Howard scoring that goal.
They came in with one of the best power plays in the country. 27%, 5th in the country before the weekend. As you mentioned, they were 1 for 5 last night. Drops them to 6th, just a touch under 27% now. But an opportunity for Spartans to draw first blood again. They get the game's first power play, and they go to work in the offensive end. It's a good feed that time for Russell. Didn't get all of it, and Bischel's able to make an easy stop.
And then Russell goes at Master Domenico, and yeah, he's going to get the penalty.
Oh, boy.
Well, no, it's Russell. I believe Russell's the only guy getting the penalty, so this will be 4-on-4. And that's something that Michigan, and I know Master Domenico gave him the first shot, But typically when you're shorthanded, you get a little longer leash. Let's listen.
Michigan State penalty at number 20, 2 minutes for hitting after the whistle.
Hitting after the whistle is the call. Now, Master Domenico is hard on Russell. But watch Russell come in. He gives him a jab, and there, the shot to the face mask. And yeah, they caught it right away. Prior to that, though, Master Domenico being hard on Russell, as you should be, killing a penalty.
Right.
I can tell you, Tony, as a penalty killer, I always knew that you get away with a little bit more when you were shorthanded, when you were down a guy. You didn't want to press it, but, you can normally get that extra whack in and not have to worry about it.
That's a squandered opportunity for Michigan State. Sets it at 4-on-4. We'll see who benefits from the open ice here. If you weren't with us last night, Michigan State had to start the game on a 2-minute penalty because they were late getting off the ice in warm-ups. It was Gavin O'Connell who took too long to get off. So that was a self-inflicted wound last night. This is another one that at least takes a power play off the board as Lebster skates into the offensive end. Now Drew Bavaro has it for Notre Dame. Still a minute to go in the 4-on-4. Connects with Paul Fisher. Fisher will stop up. Backhand it for Bavaro. Down for Knuble. He's out there with Trevor Janicki as well. Bavaro, one-timer. Augustine makes the save. Fisher the rebound. Tried to wrap it behind him, and Augustine recovers.
Augustine making the snow angel out there. He knew exactly what Fisher was trying to do, which was stuff it in, so he tried to rotate his leg. Unfortunately, Fisher just couldn't get a hold of the puck.
Saw it last night. Augustine appears to have great instincts as a freshman goaltender. Sedum has it for Notre Dame. Still some time left, 4-on-4. That pass is given away to Nienhuis. He backhands it into the Irish end. 10 seconds until Notre Dame will get a brief 25-second or so power play of their own. Knuble was looking to send Slaggert towards net. He then takes a hit, and a penalty's coming up against Michigan State.
We'll have a 5-on-3 for 27 seconds here. Bucciardi, maybe a cross-check. If you hit him, it's okay. But
Previous play is under review.
Oh, they're going to review this to make sure it wasn't a headshot. Pretty sure if he just finishes his check, he'd be okay here. But he got his stick out in front of him, and it's a cross-check. Yeah, head first into the boards. It could have been a lot worse. Slaggert checking his shoulder. There's the shove from behind, right on the numbers. I'm gonna guess no. And this is actually a great stat here that we're throwing up. Most penalty minutes per game. Right now, Michigan State ranks 3rd worst in the entire NCAA ranks.
And they were good last night. They took that really unforced one we just alluded to, then only one in the run of play. Notre Dame only got 2 power plays. We talked to Adam Nightingale earlier this week, and he said the only part of their game he'd really been focused on is they're taking a few too many penalties. They take, you saw the minutes there, 5.5 penalties per game. So last night was a great step in the right direction. But both of these, Steve, the nature of them, really the kinds that he said you don't want to take those kind of penalties.
No, yeah. But he did say I wrestle with it because I want my team to be competitive. I want them to play with a little bit of an edge. Let's listen for the call.
After review, number 7 of Michigan State, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Yeah, just the 2 minutes. I think that's the right call. It's a dangerous play. And like I said, I think if he just hits him, you can't hit him from behind. So I'm going to take that back too. You just got to let up on the player. But Landon Slaggert did a great job protecting himself, heading into the boards.
Okay, so it's 5-on-3 for now, and then they'll get to continue the power play. As Nelson has it, see if the Irish can take advantage. That was an important clear for Michigan State. 10 seconds left. 5-on-3 as Bavaro has it. Hands it off to Fisher. Back for Bavaro. They play catch around the perimeter. Janicki's got it. Bavaro, one-timer, saved by Augustine. Puck's loose, and he stops play. Notre Dame hated it because they thought the whistle came early.
Yeah,
but that's how it goes.
You're absolutely right, Tony. Trevor Janicki thought he saw a loose puck there, tried to get to it, then heard the whistle. Like the shot here from Bavaro. It took him a while to get it off, but he gets it off. There's a rebound. Janicki saw it, and then he saw it still loose. Maybe you'll see the biscuit from this angle. Yeah.
I think he was going to cover it.
He was going to cover it,
But
absolutely.
the whistle came a half second early, and that's why they were upset.
Yeah, Janicki gets one whack at it, and then he's going to cover it up right there.
So now 5-on-4, and still plenty of time for Notre Dame to work with here, as Michigan State does well to win a couple of draws here. They've been outdrawn 9-2 to start the game, but on the penalty kill, importantly.
Well, yeah, especially that 5-on-3, as you pointed out. That killed 15 seconds.
And now a turnover. Nico Mueller took it away. Bavaro does well to make up for his mistake and take it right back. Michigan State, it should be mentioned, leads the nation in shorthanded goals. They've got 7 this year. They've got a very good penalty kill as well. They kill right around where you want, coming in at 80%. But those 7 shorthanded goals have really been a dynamic factor to their success this year. Yeah,
Adam Nightingale went out of his way to mention that Jared DeMichael is in charge of the penalty killing, and he said he does a great job with those guys out there.
Seedham's got it. Across for Fisher. Back for Seedham, who scored the game-tying goal last night for Notre Dame. Grad transfer from Harvard, has 3 goals this season. He's got the puck again and finds Knuble. Across it goes for Moynihan. Has to retrieve a loose puck in the corner. Seedham shooting, looking for a deflection from Slaggert in front, and Augustine is able to glove it.
Good decision by Ryan Seedham just to get it towards the net. He knew Landon Slaggert was there, and Landon's so good at redirecting pucks, great eye-hand coordination, but Augustine, not a lot of rebounds come off of him, and that went right into his glove, so did a good job killing that play.
Still 9 seconds left on this power play. Irish win another faceoff. Shot from Master Domenico. Goes wide. Ricochets off the corner, comes back out towards the line, and Michigan State has killed it off. So they're back to 5-on-5 for the final 3 minutes and 10 seconds of this period, unless another orange armband goes up. Brennan Ali. Oh, somehow got that towards Augustine from behind the net.
Yeah,
he gloved it.
I don't know if we can look at this, but he slips the check too. And this is such an important part of hockey, I think, is being able to create a little bit of time and space for yourself. Watch him dance here. He knows the guy's coming. And watch him just kind of jump right at the last second. Just twist his body to kind of roll off the check. And then he's hoping just to bank it in off the netminder. And Augustine has seen that play before and covered it up rather easily.
Shots right now 11-10 in favor of Michigan State. Get the sense Notre Dame's had their chances too, but based on the way Michigan State's played this year, scoring a lot of goals, getting a lot of shots on net, feels like this pace might be a little bit more up their alley tonight.
Yeah, a little more freewheeling. Seems like maybe they've had a little more luck making the blue line, a little better speed through the neutral ice area.
Now they've got it through center. This is Carson Dorwart. Dangles his way through, and he buries it. Unbelievable opening goal for Carson Dorwart. 1-0 Michigan State.
Well, he missed the net last time. Remember, he looked skyward after he missed the net. Now, I thought this was close to being offside. I don't know whether they'll look at this again, but watch the right side dragging his leg. That could be offside. That was number 20, Russell. Possibly offside, and I think they're going to look at it. Here's the shot by Dorwart, and yeah, that's a perfect shot. I mean, a high riser, and they're actually not going to look at it, so we take that back. The coaching staff, they've got people looking at it on video, and if you stretch your leg and drag it back far enough, you stay onside, and I think that's exactly what Russell did.
Now, fortunately for the historical archive, the goal will count because that was something special for Dorwart. The sophomore has the opening goal for Michigan State. What an individual effort.
Well, we just talked about it. We touched about the speed through the neutral ice area, and that's what Dorwart used, the speed through the neutral ice area, gets himself into a position where he can get a shot, and he rifled it.
They had a goal against Notre Dame in the series in East Lansing earlier this year that Michigan State swept. And now the Spartans looking to hold on to this lead longer than they did last night. Had it for less than a half minute. They've accomplished that as they carry it back into the Irish end. Shouty, and this time they do go offside. Kelly a little bit eager to get in. Let's just go back, Steve, to see what you were looking at, because it did look like an awkward entry into the zone.
Yeah, watch the guy on this side, 20, dragging the skate, and we kind of get blocked out, but I think he did extend, and the referee, the linesman, 74. Let's watch from this angle. Now watch the puck. It's got to totally cross. Yeah, yeah, it was close. But his blade was still in touch with the blue paint, and that means he's onside.
That's great work from producer Derek Coleman. I think we got Ben and Peyton on replay today. I can't give any camera guys love because those are all static robotic cameras right on the blue line, but they're in the right spot. Yeah. And this is the number we talked about earlier, Steve. Last night was the first time all season that Michigan State lost after they've collected the first goal. They've been dominant when they score first, and I think you pointed out a couple times, really Sedum scoring as quickly as he did after. Michigan State never really had a chance to play with the lead. It was only 26 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And I credit Notre Dame too, though. They played a patient game. Even when it was 1-1 for 30 minutes, they didn't deviate from their game plan. They didn't open up. They waited for Michigan State to open up, and that's how they ended up getting that go-ahead goal.
It wasn't until the final 5 minutes in which Notre Dame got that pivotal third goal that gave them the 2-goal lead. This puck's out through center, and Brendan Ali has it with speed. Good work that time by Maxim Sturback to break it up. Hunter Strand will collect the puck behind the net. Final minute of the opening period. Justin Janicki shoots, rebounds loose. Master Domenico got a backhand on it. Another crack at it, and Augustine is finally able to cover the puck.
We mentioned Brock Shahan, who's in charge of the defenseman for Notre Dame. He has given his guys the green light to jump up on the play, and that's why you'll see number 4, Master Domenico, right up, literally 10 feet from the goal line, and he gets a couple of really good looks at it. Trey Augustine, I'll tell you what, he's given up some rebounds here. You see the backhand gets blockered out. The second shot, I don't think got back through to him, but Augustine, who did a real good job last night controlling rebounds, there's been a couple come off his pads.
He's been fun to watch this weekend, Steve. I know you got a chance to see him when you were covering World Juniors. He was the primary goaltender for Team USA. Jacob Fowler and BC, who we saw this year, both obviously had a case to make, but man, first chance getting to see him in person. Well, he just seems to have all the instincts.
You're right, but you know what stuck out to me? Adam Nightingale talked about it. He said he doesn't ever showboat out there. He's very low maintenance, and he said, a lot of guys will make a big glove stop and they'll flash the glove a little higher just to show everyone that he's got it. And he said he makes tough saves look easy, and he just goes about his job that way.
And he referred to him as an unbelievable teammate. Sometimes with goaltenders, you know this, they can be on their own island, left to their own devices, but he was quick to point out how great of a team player he is. Again, he's the youngest goaltender in college hockey. As Strand is in, over for Janicki. Augustine makes one final save to put an exclamation point on the period. In the end, I think he's going to end the frame with 14 saves as he keeps the sheet clean through 20 minutes.
Yeah, and really the only goal, good speed by Michigan State through the neutral ice area, perfect shot by Dorwart, and that's the difference in this hockey game.
Spartans will take their first lead of the weekend into the locker room. After one period of play, we'll get a chance to see how Andrew Peak, former Notre Dame defenseman and captain, made his way to the NHL, and we'll break down the first period's highlights and break down the stat sheet as well. 20 minutes in the books. Carson Dorwart has the first goal of the night, and the Spartans have the lead. One period in the books between Notre Dame and Michigan State. It's the Spartans again, just like last night, that have collected the first goal of the contest. We welcome you back inside the Content family. Ice Arena, Tony Simeone alongside Steve Conroy. Happy that you're with us for the second game of this really important Big Ten weekend series. Steve, I think we saw what we saw a lot last night. Really competitive, physical, and entertaining hockey in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and Michigan State finally was able to attack through the neutral ice area with speed, something they didn't do quite as much last night, and that ultimately led to their first goal.
Let's go look at the goal that is the difference right now. Carson Dorwart makes a great individual effort and an awesome finish.
Yeah, he gets a pass from Pascal, but then he's off to the races. Watch him cut to the inside and then to the outside. Ryan Seedham misses that poke check, and boy, he makes them pay. He's in the middle of the ice, he's outside almost to the dots, and that shot was labeled, and he makes sure he celebrates right in front of Notre Dame's bench. The other end, though, Notre Dame had their looks, and you'll see in some of these replays, there's some rebounds. Not there. Nice save by Trey Augustine. But puck has been coming off his pads. Paul Fisher, the defenseman, had an excellent opportunity. Quite can't get to it. And then a quick whistle there prevents Trevor Janicki from getting another look in front. But all in all, and we saw it last night too, Trey Augustine has been perfect.
These teams each had 9 shots in the first period last night. You see the number way up here. Michigan State, again, top 5 in the country in shots attempted. When you look at this and you look at Notre Dame, Steve, what's the biggest key for them in the second period to find that game-tying goal?
Well, getting to those loose pucks. I mean, they're getting the shots. They get another 14 shots this period. They're going to get some rebounds, and it's those second and third opportunities that you need to beat a goalie like Augustine.
We'll see what happens in the second period between Notre Dame and Michigan State. It's been a very entertaining weekend series. Second period's right after this. Almost ready to start the second period between Notre Dame and Michigan State. Danny Nelson sprints onto the ice. This guy has just developed, it seems like, every single month, Steve. Looks a little bit better. Second round pick of the Islanders. You pointed this out. Last night, didn't score, but he filled the stat sheet.
Yeah, you know, didn't get a goal or an assist, but he had 5 hits. He won a number of draws. In fact, he won 13 of his 16 draws. Here he is blocking a shot late in that hockey game when Michigan State was pressing. And this was an important play. He finishes his check. That ultimately led to the Bavaro goal. Those are the things you don't see in the stat sheets, but those are the things that Danny Nelson brings to the game. There are his numbers. Last night, 2 shots, 2 blocks, 13 of 16 in the faceoff dot. But I think more importantly, the 5 hits. That's something that he brings as a freshman that has really impressed me.
That's one of those things, too. If you're not watching every game, if you're just having a look at the box score and you saw Danny Nelson, this guy's a second rounder. Come on, he should have had a goal or an assist, should have done something against Michigan State. Well, you just showed a lot of the stuff he did that didn't add to his point total on the year. There's a broken stick on the faceoff. Puck does end up in Notre Dame's end. It was a broken Michigan State twig.
I think it was right off the faceoff. It was the centerman who snapped his twig on the draw.
I think it might have been Dorwart. Playing through it right now on a clean sheet. The Irish trail by 1. Michigan State got the opening goal last night. They've done the same tonight.
Find it, guys, find it! Move it!
Hear the referee tell him to play it.
They oblige. Nienhuis sends it down. Manisto beats what could have been an icing call. Fisher now works on him, and they'll wedge it up against this wall.
No whistle coming. No whistle coming.
No whistle coming. Yeah, we hear you.
They're really following instructions. I think once they saw the call last night with with Gavin O'Connell on the ice too late in warm-ups, they've taken the officials' words to heart throughout the weekend. As Slaggert's got it in on Augustine. Goodness, he was 1-on-4, managed to get the puck into the chest of Augustine, and he asked to make a save.
As you mentioned last night, Landon Slaggert not on the score sheet, and yet Notre Dame still won, and this is 1-on-4, and that's what Landon Slaggert brings to the table each and every night. The second effort, the third effort. That was a great feature we ran last night on the captain of Notre Dame, and you know, growing up as a coach's son, he said it's not always easy. In fact, it's harder. You've got to be working twice as hard as really anyone else, and he takes that, wearing that C on his shoulder, very seriously.
Came into the weekend top 10 in the country in goals scored with 15. Now finds himself today 6 back of the nation's lead as Seedham sees one go off the body of Bischel. He and Bischel are Hobie Baker nominees. They're the 2 Irish nominees this year. Bischel finds himself today tied for 2nd in the country in save percentage at .930. So the 2 of them validating that recognition with about a month to go in the regular season. As Red Savage has the puck, he shoots, and Bischel's able to fight it off. Savage back onto it, the transfer from Miami. Out for Gucciardi. Shoots a puck that deflects towards the corner. Savage after it again. Takes it away in the corner. His feed got all the way through, but it's behind Sturback and takes him into his own end.
Yeah, that could have been a dangerous play. Some tired Notre Dame players out there. Really aggressive forecheck for Michigan State. They end up with the puck, but kind of a no-look pass back to the point, and it ends up back in their own zone.
Savage's feed deflects off a skate. Gucciardi able to retrieve it. Now it's intercepted by Mastrodomenico. He brings it across, finds Knuble. It's broken up and back through center where Bavaro can rifle it back in. This time Trevor Janicki swats it in for Notre Dame. Janicki has scored a goal in each of his last 4. Notre Dame has won all 4. In fact, Notre Dame this year is 6-0-2 when Trevor Janicki scores a goal, as this play is going to be stopped for a hand pass. This is a 5th-year senior that, of course, his brother plays along with him. His father played here, had a great season a few years back, and now has really turned it on here in the second half of this season. You can see how good they are when he scores, and it's 11 points in his last 11 after that slow start, Steve.
Yeah, and I remember you talking to Jeff Jackson about his play, and he said, you know, he's getting chances. He's just snake bitten. And he's one of those guys who would hit a bunch of posts, he hit a couple of crossbars, and he said if he wasn't getting the chances, he'd be concerned, but he wasn't. And he knows how hard Trevor Janicki works. He creates a lot of room for himself along the boards. He wins his fair share of one-on-one battles. He's a lot of fun to watch. He's a powerful player out there.
And 15 goals 2 years ago. That's his career high. He's now got the second most in a season already this year. He had 8 last year. The 9 this year are the second most he's scored. He's still looking at, he's got these 7 regular season games left, then maybe a 3-game Big Ten tournament series, then maybe a couple more. I mean, you could play maybe 12, 13 more games. He could seek a career high if he continues to stay hot.
Yeah, and he gets chances. He's getting looks and playing with Danny Nelson. You know, Brendan Ali has been promoted from earlier this year.
Uh-oh, trouble as Dorwart fed one towards the middle. Russell got a shot on Bischel, and he had to bail the Irish out.
Yeah, that was an in-close look, and surprised the player didn't try to go a little higher with that shot. Maybe got jammed, but we're going to look at it here after the icing. And, you know, Howard gets that great feed. And, you know, off the face-off, they lose it. But pressure by Russell. Dorwart gets it. Watch that pass. You know, right out to Howard and basically just into the pads of Ryan Bischel.
You mentioned they had pressure going there. Fisher with his back turned is what really started that whole operation. They're going to drop this again.
Keep in mind, Ryan Bischel last night stopped 30 of 31 shots. And I went back to the previous 2 games that were at Michigan State. Hit 127 shots, had 119 saves.
He's been Mr. Consistent for Notre Dame as he had to fight off one. Second one deflects wide. Pressure on here from the Spartans. Levshnoff, shot didn't get through. Turnaround try from Anisto is blocked by Zach Pluzinski.
Looking like Ryan Bischel out there.
Levshnoff can shoot it. Bischel again has to make a save. Puck is loose. Notre Dame looking for any way out of their own end, and they do get it to center ice.
Yeah, that's been a couple of shifts in a row. They've kind of been hemmed in their own zone, and Michigan State really taking advantage of it. They've got some tired guys out there for the Fighting Irish.
Hey, right, they just iced it. Not been able to get a clean line change. Again, second period, not as extreme as in the NHL, but still a longer change as this shot doesn't get through. Shouty gonna try to wrap it around on the rebound. Couldn't get it on net cleanly.
Maddox Fleming again. He did that in the first period, came down to help, and he helped out there. Stopped Shouty.
Off the bench, Davidson shoots. Bischel makes the save, then lunges for it. He's out of position. It's taken away. Turnaround shot is stopped. He doesn't have his goaltender stick. Important clear for Notre Dame again. Icing will be waved off. Importantly for Notre Dame, they can make a change.
Well, the importance of goaltending. You know, you give up a goal there, and all of a sudden, Michigan State has all the momentum. A couple of big stops from Ryan Bischel.
Mueller being worked on behind the net by Henry Nelson. Brother of Danny. Gucciardi had a shot blocked by Justin Janicki, brother of Trevor. Lebster has his pocket picked by Strand along the wall. Gets it out to center ice. Mueller right back onto the puck. Michigan State has been a little bit unrelenting here in the second. Spent a lot of time in the Irish end. Mueller keeps it in. Off for O'Connell. He shoots, and Bischel maybe got a piece as it ricochets high.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tony. Maybe the knob. That was a turnover by Ryan Seedham. And you're right, they've spent the last 3 minutes in their own zone. The Spartans smelling blood.
Michigan State looking now like the team seen throughout the first 2/3 of this college hockey season. 8th ranked team in the country. One of the best years they've had in a while. Still have already won more games this year in 9 of their previous 11. Gavin O'Connell, the freshman, sends it ahead for Red Savage. Here's Savage dropping it off. Levshunov shoots. Bischel is able to kick it out.
Quick shot there from Levshunov. Realized he didn't have a lot of time.
Mastrodomenico's pass deflected towards Moynihan. Oh, there was a chance to spring Dorwart. Couldn't get it to him cleanly. He's back for the puck. Michigan State remains onside, and they go to work. Here's a feed for Howard. Holds, and Bischel makes the save. Second try. He's stopped as well. Some frantic moments as Bischel barely sees that one get through, and he'll wisely cover the puck and catch his breath.
And the crowd here at Compton Family Ice Arena giving him a big round of applause. They realize that it could be a 3-4-0 game right now. Watch the stop here off the knob, maybe the blocker. And then, I'll take another look at it. Yeah, that was a blocker save, but that was labeled for the top right as we look at it, top left from the shooter. And then that last flurry, he makes it look easy because he makes the first stop and then he's waiting for the second one. Knew exactly where he had to be. He got there in a hurry and was square to the shooter.
Well, that was a good demonstration why he's second in the country in save percentage as he smothers this puck. You see shots now really favoring Michigan State, but we've become accustomed to seeing this, Steve, with Ryan Bischel. They're going to miss him when he's gone. I mean, he has just been outstanding. .931 save percentage last year. It was .930 before this game started tonight this year.
And, you know, Jeff Jackson knows goalies, and he's had them for 4 years now. And he wasn't handed the job when he got here. He had a couple of guys in front of him for a couple of different years. Most recently, 2-3 years ago, Matthew Galida. But the last 2 years, it's been his net, and he has not given it up.
He has just turned into one of the best goaltenders in the country. As Nelson's on his way in, takes a spill, and it's going to be a penalty against Michigan State.
Their captain, Nienhuis, tripped up Danny Nelson, who made a real nice move just outside the blue line. Gets his feet taken out from under him, and a huge power play for
Michigan
the Fighting
State,
Irish.
number 4, 2 minutes for tripping.
So tripping to Nienhuis, and he's one of their penalty killers out there. Dorwart spun him around to begin with. Nienhuis reaches in right across the shin pads, trips him up, and the Irish to the man advantage.
And they win another face-off. They're now 17-9, winning close to 70% of the face-offs tonight. Knubel's got it, takes it in. Has the puck taken away, and now Savage can go on a shorthanded excursion. He has the puck taken back from him by Seedham and lays a hit on Moynihan in front of his own bench. Back for the puck is Patrick Geary. Oh, he took a spill as he was trying to clear it. It allows Slaggert to take it back for the Irish. Then this clearing attempt hit the back of a Spartan defenseman. It remains in the zone. And now they find a way to somehow come out through center as Savage drives one from the blue line.
Dodged a bullet there. They had 2 separate opportunities to get it down the ice. Both times failed. They finally did clear.
This is Notre Dame's 3rd power play opportunity tonight. They were 0 for 2 last night. As Lebster is on the move, Bavaro gets the angle on him to prevent him from going in for what could have been the 8th shorthanded goal of the year for Michigan State. Bavaro's got it again as he carries it.
Michigan State. You can just see it. They're playing with a lot more energy tonight and playing with the lead. Sometimes that'll happen. But this has been a real clinic in killing penalties this last minute or so.
They've killed everyone they've seen this weekend. Last night, Notre Dame became the first team all year to beat Michigan State when Michigan State did not give up a power play goal. They were 12-0-1 before last night when they kept the opposition from scoring on the advantage. Still 12 seconds left for Bavaro, who shoots, and Augustine tested for the first time on the power play. He has the answer.
Yeah, Orovitz, too, had an opportunity about 10 seconds prior to get it down the ice. He doesn't, and there you see the sneaky smile from Trey Augustine. I love goalies who love playing, and you see it from Ryan Bischel through the mask. You see it there from Trey Augustine. And we talked about it last night. What a resume this youngster has at 18 years of age. World Junior Championship, gold medal. He's led a Michigan State Spartan team to a huge resurgence. And he is a draft pick of the Detroit Red Wings, but it wouldn't surprise me if he came back for another year next year with the Spartan team.
He's the youngest goaltender in all of college hockey, as Manisto's on his way. Tommy Manisto brings it towards net. Bischel had to come beyond his paint to make that stop, and the puck is cleared. It's also the youngest goaltender, Augustine is, by more than 2.5 years compared to every other Big Ten starter.
It's amazing.
Bischel's nearly 5 years older as Carter Slaggert carries into the offensive end, finds Ali in a dangerous spot. His shot harmlessly ricochets to the corner. Shouty did get to the center line before lofting the puck into the corner. Levshnoff. It's a quieter game too. Hasn't quite impacted the game the same way we saw last night, as this puck is intercepted by Slaggert. Fed it for Knuble, ricocheted wide, and now O'Connell brings it into the Irish end for Michigan State. There is Levshnoff, finds Niedhaus. Wow, pretty feed. Rebounds loose off the stick of Larson that time. Came out towards the line. Slaggert's got it. They can go 3-on-1. Moynihan streaking towards net. Slaggert finds him, and he can't get it on the frame. Then tried it from an angle. Slaggert's in front again. He goes to the ice. Play continues. Spartans bring it out the other direction, and Niedhaus will go off.
I think Moynihan was surprised that Slaggert pass got through to him. It ended up right on his stick, too, and by the time he fired it off, kind of at a tough angle. Trey Augustine, too, after the pass, made a real concerted effort to get to that side of the net, and he did.
It's different energy in this building than we saw in November and December. It's feeling like it's getting close to playoff season. Both teams desperate for points and computer rankings in the pairwise. Russell's got it along the wall as he finds Dorwart out through center. Well, he's got speed, and the only goal tonight. Takes it wide angle. Bischel has to stay tall in his post. Russell gets it back to Dorwart. Sends it out high. Sturback shoots, hit the outside of the post, and goes towards the corner.
Pace has really picked up here.
It's been mostly Spartans here in the period. Now out shooting Notre Dame 27-17. It's 15-3 in this 15-3 in this period for Michigan State. Sturback, wow, the shot got all the way through. Bischel had to fight it off. Loose behind the net, rebound try, squirts wide. Bavaro has to hit behind the net and lay one onto Howard. Notre Dame looking for any way out of their end. They do get it to center. Bavaro drives it in deep. Tyler Carpenter as the third Irish line takes a shift in the Spartan zone. Strand avoids a hit from Sturback, around for Sedum, shooting. Augustine does well to come out and make the save, and that will stop play. Michigan State holding on to a 1-0 lead. They were close to making it 2 with that shot from Sturback, and on the other end, Patrick Moynihan this close to tying the game. Past the midway point, of the second period and past the midway point of regulation here in South Bend. There's Adam Nightingale. See what they've done here in his second year coaching at the school which he played in the early 2000s. 17 wins mentioned, more than all but 2 seasons over the course of the last 11. If they win tonight, they would get the most wins they've had since joining the Big Ten. You see the 6 players with 20 or more points. That's the most already in nearly 15 years, Steve, and there's still maybe 10, hopefully for them, 15 more games this season.
Yeah, and I like the way that Adam Nightingale handles it, though. He's very humble. It's never about him. He talked about the work that Danton Cole did before he got here, you know, the renovations at Munn Ice Arena. And I also like the fact that he said we kind of kept things Spartan-esque. They got a shooting room down there. He said we could have tricked it out with all the bells and whistles you could imagine, but you know what? A shooting room's a shooting room, and we want these guys working hard, and that's what they do. And he said the shooting room is right above his office, right below his office. He said he hears guys in there all the time.
It's probably music to his ears. And you're right, Spartan-esque. He wanted them to bring that hard hat lunch pail, even if it's one of the best and newest facilities in the country. They don't want him to take it for granted as Jeremy Davidson spins around the net and backhands it in. Jeremy Davidson makes it 2-0 Michigan State.
It almost felt like it was just a matter of time. And now, you know, sometimes on wraparounds, it either goes off the goalie or maybe it goes off the defender. Jake Boltman, number 6, was coming back hard. And watch Davidson, who's got quick hands. And no, it looks like he puts it in himself. Maybe banks it in off the side skate. We'll see it from here. Watch Ryan Bischel, that left leg. No, he just put it in himself.
That was sweet.
Now, to get around to the front of the net that quickly and to stuff it in like he did. Jeremy Davidson, his 7th goal this year, and as you mentioned, has scored some big goals against Notre Dame.
Yeah, you're right. Game 3 last year against the Irish, had one in that decisive quarterfinal victory. Did not have any points last weekend against Minnesota, but did have 5 in his previous 3 games, so was playing well. I mean, this is some impressive work by Davidson with those hands.
Well, you know, he started his college career at UMass.
Yeah.
And he's from Kalamazoo, though, so it's got to be real refreshing for him to kind of be back home, at least a little closer to home in East Lansing. And, yeah, that's a high-skill goal.
So for the first time this weekend, Michigan State has a 2-goal lead. Sucks a little bit of the life out of this Compton Family Ice Arena. Michigan State has dominated play here in the second as Manisto and Slaggert get tied up. Carter Slaggert's still on the ice, slow to get to his feet.
Bavaro came in to give Manisto a couple of extra shots. You know, we noticed Manisto last night in the 3rd period. We've noticed him in this game too. He's got some good speed. There you see Kelly, who'd lost his lid. Manisto's parents were both power lifters back in Finland.
That's right.
Won a number of gold medals nationally. Hit there by Kelly, and that's why the Fighting Irish were upset.
I think the puck was under Slaggert, so they blew it dead when they were jabbing at it.
And Bavaro comes in with the extra hit on Manisto. He didn't like that jab on a fallen Carter Slaggert.
Michigan State in the period continues to just tally the shots. They have 29 for the game now. The average, again, close to 37 per contest. Top 5 in the country in that number. Done a nice job here in period number 2.
Well, they've really outplayed the Irish, but they're only down a couple goals. And if I'm the Fighting Irish, it's like, guys, we got to score the next goal. The next goal is the most important one. You know, if we score it, we're in it. Just missed there, but Michigan State scores it, you know, game's probably over.
Oh, Bavaro, some good work at the blue line. He's going to carry it all the way down, shoot from a wide angle. Gets it on Augustine. Rolls towards the corner. As this top Irish line continues to generate good shifts. Knuble, Slaggert, and Moynihan. They see the puck come out to center, and they'll go off as Mastrodomenico drives it in deep while a new line hops over the boards.
Gucciardi did the right thing there. Got a late hit from Mastrodomenico after that puck was dumped in, but Gucciardi just realizes his team's up 2-0. He's not going to do anything stupid, so he's skated straight to the bench. And Dorwart's been very noticeable in this game, Tony. Not just the goal, but his speed. And he's won a couple of key faceoffs too.
This top line, again, all sophomores, Dorwart, Russell, and Howard. I thought last night they were probably the best line for Michigan State. Could probably say the same again tonight. They've been consistent all weekend. As they have the puck again, but give it to Jake Boltman.
Should point out Carson Dorwart from Sherwood, Oregon. Not a lot of kids out of Oregon who play college hockey.
Bishop kicks it wide. This is year 3, I think, of the Seattle Kraken. Might see some more Pacific Northwest, at least in the U.S. Of course, Vancouver's always been there, but I'm sure that'll help grow the game a little bit in that corner of the country as the play is stopped with a save again by Augustine.
Well, that's a real good point because he had to play his minor hockey with the San Jose Sharks junior program there.
Yeah.
So,
I'll just tell you, I mean, I grew up in Seattle. I played soccer, I played basketball, I played every sport except for hockey. I can't skate.
well, that will change because we've seen that wherever the NHL has gone to. You don't just think about Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yes.
Redmond Savage, nice shot there. Redmond Savage born in Scottsdale. Of course, his dad Brian played for the Phoenix Coyotes. Back then they were the Phoenix Coyotes, now the Arizona Coyotes.
It's amazing the way the game spreads as Lebster carries into the offensive end. Wow, was looking for Levshnoff, who was streaking all the way in. The freshman defenseman was lurking on the back door, and they did not miss connecting by much, and then the net became dislodged.
I hope we get another look at that because we talked last night about his length. He's 6'2", but he's got a long stick. Watch him turn on the speed here. 5 on the far side, and that pass, yeah, just missed his stick. It was maybe 6 inches off the ice. Oh, if he tips that, it's probably a goal. And there you see Ryan Bischel getting run into by his own player, and that's why the net came off.
That was a great illustration. You pointed out the stride. Really impressive from Levshnoff. Notre Dame continues to dominate the face-off circle, 22-11 right now, winning 67%. And they get another one relatively cleanly. Ooh, almost give it away, though. Good work by Kelly to check behind the play, and then Bischel has to come out to stop it.
Well, Ryan Bischel, honestly, has kept them in this hockey game. They're literally getting outshot 30-20 right now, unofficially. And as I mentioned, they get the next goal, they're right back in this hockey game. So one thing that's got to start happening, though, is playing a little less hockey in your own zone.
Yeah.
Most of the action's been to our left, inside the blue line, in front of Ryan Bischel. So it's been a lot of one-and-dones down by Trey Augustine. They've got to exert some constant pressure in that end.
And Michigan State has turned it on here in the second. Had the 1-0 lead after one, as Bischel's going to have to stop another puck. He's in a dangerous spot to his right. And then, really, without scoring, they were really putting Notre Dame on their heels. They finally broke through a few minutes ago thanks to Davidson. But to your point, I can't think of many chances in this second period that have taken place on the right side of the rink.
Yeah, well, I call it the eye test. We've talked about it before. You just look how chopped up the ice is down in front of Augustine, and it's still pretty pristine. Down in front of Ryan Bischel's a little different story. The snow is piled up down in this end.
That's a good point. Yeah, there's a ton of snow in and around Bischel's crease, even in those corners too.
Yeah.
As the Irish win a face-off, they play it behind. Almost gets caught up in some of that snow.
Much better job of forechecking by Michigan State in game 2. You know, last night Notre Dame was coming out rather easily, relatively easily. Not so much tonight.
Should also mention the Irish have been scoring at a high rate. They've won 4 games in a row, and they scored 19 goals in those 4 games, close to 5 goals per game. They're scoreless with 3.5 minutes left in the second period. Michigan State on the year, known for their offense, scoring over 4 goals per game coming in, but they allow more than 3 per contest. So they've conceded a fair amount of goals to opposition, but tonight, defensively, they've held the Irish at bay. Bischel behind his net, plays it for Seedham. Comes around, and Cole Knuble will carry it through the offensive end. And then he fires it, I think, into his own bench.
So look at Cole Knuble, who last night, I think we both agreed, Tony, maybe his best game as a member of the Fighting Irish. Playing with confidence, he wants the puck, he's commanding the puck. And Jeff Jackson went out of his way to talk about the power play over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and he mentioned Knuble and Danny Nelson doing a great job down the middle in that bumper position. And he said that's part of the reason that power play's had a lot of success.
Had a 4-goal weekend against Augustana at the end of December. He's looked like a different player in November. Part of that's because he's playing with 2 veteran forwards in Slaggert and Moynihan. Got the promotion after Danny Nelson went to play in World Juniors. Now Nelson slotted into that second line with Ali and Janicki.
Nice breakout here by Pluzinski.
Yeah, good work. Finds Ali in the offensive zone as that second line is on the ice for Notre Dame. Puck comes out. Pluzinski had to backtrack for it in his own end. Fisher couldn't cleanly drive it in. Nelson has it taken from him, so Isaac Howard can recover it for the Spartans with 2 minutes left. Ali's going to play it for himself as the Irish change behind him. Hunter Strand finds Bavaro. Fires a shot, deflects, and Augustine had to come over to block her at a side. Strand's whack. Doesn't go anywhere. Comes back into the Irish zone. Into the corners. Mueller takes a spill, goes down again, and this will be a penalty.
Just got to hold off. You know, I think Bavaro was hard on his check to start with. Maybe got away with one, but the second one, no. And yeah, Mueller lost his footing rather easily, but you're going to draw attention to a potential penalty. And it should be a cross-check. We'll wait for the call.
Notre Dame, number 24, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
I mentioned he was hard on his check. Watch Bavaro. Got away with that one, but he didn't get away with that one.
Ooh.
And so it was the second one that earned him. And you know, the first one could have been a penalty, but the ref's arm did not go up.
Stick 2 come up into that head neck area. And so now a pivotal power play. Larson's got it. Good block by Pluzinski. Leading goal scorer for Michigan State, Joey Larson, has had a relatively quiet weekend.
I thought he could have one-timed that, Tony. It was a hot pass, but I thought he could have one-timed it.
He's waiting in the same spot. Here comes the one-timer, and again, Pluzinski blocks the shot.
And his head coach, Adam Nightingale, said he's got one of the best one-timers he's ever seen.
Mueller sends it down for Red Savage. Number 21 holds the puck below the line. Out for Levshnov. Oh, whiffed on a one-timer. Landon Slaggert, the Irish captain, plays it for himself. Here he comes short-handed, and Mueller breaks it up.
Great back check by Mueller. And Landon Slaggert, one of the fastest guys in NCAA hockey. Mueller matched him stride for stride.
Good recovery by Mueller to track down Slaggert. 20 seconds left in the period. Larson again. Holds the puck, takes his time. Down it goes for Savage. Centering feed broken up by Bischel. Back for Mueller. Levshnov shoots and scores! The freshman makes it 3-0 in the final seconds of the second period.
And that's what great ones do, Tony. Remember he flubbed a shot earlier, and that was the one off to the races. See him pointing. Mueller wants him to cut him off, and Mueller does. But he doesn't go for the change. He stays out there. He still wants the puck. And does he flub this one? No. A high riser. Not a lot of room up there. But he finds the top right corner of the net. Scores the goal. mentioned it a number of times. He's probably going to go top 5 in this year's draft, and he just gives them the 3-0 lead.
You don't want to call it early, but that feels like a backbreaker. Final 5 seconds of the second period, and Lev Schnapp, as you said, the future top-ranked pick towards the top 5, delivers a big-time goal for the Spartans.
Well, give them full credit. I mean, they scored 2 goals in that period, but I'd say 75% of the action was in front of Ryan Bischel. That was Michigan State at their best.
Impressive second period from the Spartans to give them the 3-0 lead. During the second intermission, have a chance to hear a little bit more about Rudy Chapman, a young man that has been around the Irish hockey program for a long time, and then we'll break down those 2 second period goals and the stat sheet as well. Spartans led 1-0 after 2. They've tacked on a couple here in the second. Most recently, Artie Levschnapp giving them the 3-goal lead. Michigan State has the largest lead of the weekend for either team. Notre Dame won last night 4-1 with an empty netter late, but nobody's led by this much after 2 on the weekend as we bring you back inside the Compton family Ice Arena. Tony Simeone with Steve Conroy. We said the first was pretty evenly played. I stand by that. Pretty evenly played first period, even though the Spartans had the only goal. Second period, Michigan State really looked like the team that we've seen throughout the first few months of the college hockey season.
Seemed like the ice was tilted in their favor down towards the Notre Dame end. And I think part of it was because of their forecheck. Just a very aggressive forecheck. They got on the body, they got loose pucks, and as a result, they got a lot of shots.
Let's look at how they got the 2 goals in the second period. The first one, I think, really impressive hands from Jeremy Davidson to wrap this one around.
Yeah, really good job, you know, sensing that he's got a little bit of room here, so he goes behind the net, and I'm not too sure Justin Janicki had him. Maybe he thought the puck was going to get turned over. He stopped, and Jeremy Davidson just goes around the net, and yeah, that's a great wraparound play on the backhand. That gives them the 2-0 lead. And then looked like maybe this could have been a turning point for the Fighting Irish, killing a penalty. It's Landon Slaggert off to the races, but look at Nicholas Mueller. I mean, he got on his horse, he got back, and look at him deflect that shot right at the last second. They dodge a bullet, and literally 30 seconds later, what happens? Well, on that same power play, it's Mueller to Levschnapp. He lets go that great wrist shot. Now remember, he had fanned on a shot earlier that led to the Landon Slaggert breakaway. He finishes it there. He points to the bench. He points to his teammates. And yeah, he has given them the 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you're right. Slaggert had a chance to make it a 1-goal game, and then about even less than a minute later, Levschnapp makes it 3-0 in the final seconds of the second period. What are the messages, Steve, in that Irish locker room if they're going to make the comeback here in the third?
Well, you got to get the next goal. I mean, I said that when they were down 2-0, they had to get the next goal. But now, you know, 3-0, you got to get the next goal, and then you just pick away at it. You're down by a couple. The good thing is that they're winning faceoffs, and you know they can keep dominating the faceoff circle. That gives them possession. They're going to need a lot more possession this period.
I'll ask you one more here, just about the goaltending from Michigan State. Trey Augustine, I think a quiet second period, but look at what he's done all weekend. He's just been so impressive as the youngest goaltender in the country. What stood out most to you about his performance?
Just, you know, calm, cool, and collected, and he's making some tough saves look really easy. And Adam Nightingale talked about it with us last Wednesday. It kind of seeps through the whole team. When he calms things down, the whole bench calms down, and they tend to play a lot better.
20 minutes left between Notre Dame and Michigan State in the regular season. It's the final matchup between these two teams. If Michigan State can finish it off, they'll have the most wins in Big Ten season history since they've joined the conference. Third and final period of the weekend, almost set to get underway. Tony Simeone, Steve Conroy here in South Bend. Mentioned it during the intermission. Felt like the first period was pretty even, and the second leaned in favor of Michigan State. I would say that graphic supports that assessment, Steve. It was really all Spartans in period number 2.
Well, it really was, and you see the 13 shots by the Spartans. I think that Notre Dame 32 attempted in this hockey game. I just quickly looked in that first 2 periods. They've had 22 shots, Notre Dame. 14 have come from the defensemen, so only 8 shots by the guys up front, by the forwards, over the first 40 minutes. So that's got to change for Notre Dame.
One thing that I do think is worth mentioning, Steve, and we saw it last night, Notre Dame came into the weekend really strong in third periods. They won the third period 3-0 last night. Look at this. Great work by the graphics team. Johnny McDermott's always on top of it. They've outscored opponents 32-16 this year in the third. Michigan State, of course, very good in second and third periods, but not quite the margin that the Irish need. They're going to need a special third if they want to make this one interesting tonight.
And a little bit of a lineup change here. Carter Slaggert now playing on that Danny Nelson line with Trevor Janicki. So normally Brendan Ali is in that position.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
You know, you're just looking for a spark. It's nothing Brendan Ali was doing or not doing. You know, sometimes the guy's playing well, you want to reward him, so you move him up in the lineup.
Nelson off the face-off, wins it to himself. Couldn't get towards net, but he managed to carry it out towards the line, but then his pass is intercepted, and now it's back through center. Schaude was looking for Lefschnapp, who, after maybe a quiet first period, really had his fingerprints all over the second. Mastro Domenico carries into the offensive end, shoots. Augustine leaves a rebound in a dangerous spot. Irish couldn't get to it quickly. Bavaro now fires one that deflects up out of play.
That's something we saw in that first period too with Augustine. There are rebounds. You get the puck to the net. There's going to be some loose change, at least in this hockey game. I mentioned Brendan Ali, and I haven't seen him yet, so I'm assuming he's on the bench, but you know, that would be the other reason that maybe Carter Slaggert moves up to that line with Danny Nelson. Now the first line out, the Slaggert, Vanubel, Janicki line.
Well, we always have a much better view of the visiting bench here, directly below our broadcast booth. Looking across, hard to see the numbers on the bench right now, but to your point, Steve, we'll keep an eye out and see if and when Ali gets on the ice.
Well, you know, I stand corrected. I said Janicki, Justin Janicki is on that line. He's not normally on that line. That's normally Patrick Moynihan. So yeah, Jeff Jackson going to the blender, changing some things up for his lines. And Justin Janicki gets promoted to this, I guess, #1 line.
Yeah. We've seen Slaggert, as he takes a big hit in front of the Spartan bench and a penalty's coming. Just to follow up on that, I mean, Moynihan and Slaggert have played really well over the last month. They won't play together, at least in this period, it doesn't look like, but most importantly, Irish are going to get a power play out of this.
Yeah, Geary just being a little too hard on Landon Slaggert. Landon Slaggert draws a lot of penalties for the Irish. So this is an opportunity.
Michigan State number 2, 2 minutes for boarding.
Boarding's the call. You've got to strike here. And if you don't strike, you got to gain some momentum. You got to get some shots. And here you see Landon Slaggert getting run into the boards by Geary. You just got to let up there. You know, you see the numbers. You just got to let up and try and play the puck.
Nelson, 10 for 17 in the face-off circle tonight. Notre Dame's won 27 of 15. And as you mentioned, feels like the power play they have to have. They're 0 for 3 so far tonight, 0 for 5 on the weekend. They didn't come into the weekend, Steve. You pointed this out to me. 5 power play goals in their last 5 games, right around 27%. It's been a strength as of late. As Janicki sends it across for a one-timer from Fisher.
Well, Fisher shaking his head. He knew he had Augustine kind of out of position, but he missed the net.
Gucciardi lost his stick, but managed to get it back. That was important, and now they can clear it to center ice.
Yeah, they get 3 of the 4 killers to change.
Bavaro. Drive it around right to Nienhaus. Spartan captain able to easily get it out to center ice.
Kind of an unforced error by Notre Dame, putting a puck to an area that none of your teammates are at. Easy clear for Notre Dame, for MSU.
Wow, what a feed that time from Janicki. Rebound on the doorstep, and Augustine has his biggest save of the night. Janicki retrieves it out for Fisher. Pass intercepted by Lebster, and a penalty coming.
Now, Paul Fisher knew it right away. Prior to that, though, an excellent opportunity for Notre Dame to get back in this hockey game.
Notre Dame penalty for tripping.
And Fisher actually stuck his leg out to trip the Spartan. Puck comes to him. Trying to pass it to give and go. Gets picked off, so he sticks his leg out. And then earlier, Fisher with the pass. Janicki with an opportunity. Nelson with that first shot. And Trevor Janicki right there, that second save. He had a lot of net to look at. Unfortunately, put it right back into the pad of Augustine.
That's one he'd probably like to have back. Just gets it elevated, it probably goes in.
2 minutes for trimming.
So now some 4-on-4. Here is Ali. Onto the ice. Jams on the brakes. Carries it towards the middle of the rink.
2:29.
Seedham that time collides with Russell, and the puck is back to the neutral zone. So 4-on-4 for another 20 seconds, and then about 1:10 for Michigan State to go on the power play. And again, top 5 in the country in the power play coming into the weekend. Ali back for Seedham. Now Bavaro onto the ice, shoots, and Augustine is able to stop it from distance.
It's a good thing he hang on to it, because Brendan Ali was heading right to the front of the net. And there you see Trey Augustine enjoying himself. Get Ali out there in a 4-on-4 situation. A little more ice to work with. He's got good speed. Unfortunately, just couldn't find a rebound because Augustine had it trapped up against his body.
Michigan State back to the strength.
Now the Spartan penalty has expired. They give it away. Slaggert's got it shorthanded, and Levshnoff breaks up the shot. Knuble back for Slaggert! And Augustine may have gotten a piece.
What a pass by Cole Knuble. That was a tight area. Slaggert got it off right away. Looked like Augustine just got a piece of it.
Well, these are big-time saves from Augustine, not giving the Irish any hope. You know, if they got one in the first 5 minutes here, it would change the complexion of this third period. Now they can really go for a potential knockout blow. 3-0, looking for the fourth. Levshnoff for the slot. This shot by Davidson didn't get through. Good work by Bavaro to break it up, and it does come out to center.
Yeah, he stuck his foot out there, the inside of the foot. Not a lot of protection there, so he took one for the team. Nice pass from Levshnoff.
If the Irish can kill this, they're going to have to be somewhat optimistic about the amount of opportunities they've generated here in the first 4+ minutes of the period.
Yeah, they've had some looks.
Sturback, wow, plays it around Slaggert for himself in the waning moments here. Dorwart drops it for Nienhuis. Back to 5-on-5. It goes down low for Russell. He lost it. Seedham takes over for Notre Dame. Finds Carter Slaggert. Uh-oh, that didn't get out. Carter Slaggert able to get it back, though. He drives it around. Sturback won't let it get across the line. Holds it in and sets it up for Isaac Howard. Scored the only Spartan goal last night. Dorwart gets it back to Howard. He pivots, finds the trailer. Nienhuis, and the shot goes wide.
Real nice passing play there from the Spartans.
They've taken advantage of that giveaway. Howard shoots high and wide. Puck still not out, and it will get all the way back into Michigan State's zone now.
Yeah, the turnover, the unforced error for Notre Dame, and Michigan State really had possession for a good 30 seconds. Really good rotation up top between the defensemen and the forwards.
Kosinski drives it all the way around, about 100 feet along the wall. Irish had a chance to break in with the puck, but it's given right back to Michigan State, and the Spartans will send it in deep. Bishop came out to play it around. And now Maddox Fleming is able to chip it through center ice and back into the Spartan zone. This puck is tipped on Bishop, so he can play it. He'll turn behind his net. Drive it. Shouty. Puck's not cleared again. Good work by Tyler Carpenter to chip it ahead. And it's chipped right back into the neutral zone. Spartans have it once more as Monisto is able to carry it into the offensive end. There's Carpenter working on a 12-game goal drought. Gucciardi has his feet intercepted by Moynihan. Now Bavaro carries it into the offensive end for Notre Dame. Sends it into the corner for Strand. Ali comes away with it. Now Strand holding. He finds Bavaro once more. Now Red Savage on his way in. He takes a spill, and he collides with the net to stop play.
Tried to chip it by Paul Fisher, ends up losing his balance. And a good thing those nets come off, because you can get injured sliding into a heavy net like that, but it comes off those plastic moorings rather easily. Face off outside the blue line.
Off the draw. Slaggert's got it. Sends it in for Nienhuis, Spartan captain. He's had a solid weekend here in South Bend. This puck was touched with a high stick of Mueller, and he says, okay, we'll start things over.
He waited a little bit. He wanted Ryan Seedham to maybe touch the puck so he could jump on it. But instead, he touched it himself with a high stick. It comes all the way back into his own zone. So a big face-off here for the Irish.
Still have a healthy lead, 29-17 in face-offs, but it's not led to any goals tonight. Michigan State's only held 2 opponents scoreless all year. And they've won with their scoring. They scored the 3rd most goals in the country coming into the weekend. Last night was a low-scoring affair, just 1-1 late in the 3rd as Lebster takes away a loose puck and shoots on Bischel. Tonight, I think they've played a lot more like the way they want to. They've had the pace. They've now generated 33 shots with 12 minutes left. They're closing in on their game average of just shy of 37. So they've played the way they want to tonight, I think.
Yeah, you know, they're playing with speed, Tony. I think we talked about that in the 2nd period, especially through the neutral ice area. They were attacking with speed. You know, good example is that last shot by Lebster. You know, just get it up to the winger, speed down the wing, get a shot on net, and Ryan Bischel, no rebound.
And Bischel is up to 31 saves. Still 12 minutes left. Trevor Janicki takes it into the offensive end. Circles the Spartan net. You figure Notre Dame needs one in the next few minutes or so to inject some life back into this building. Great feed from Russell. Dropped it for Isaac Howard. Speeds into the offensive end. Works on Bavaro as the puck rolls into the corner. Now Carter Slaggert battling along the wall as it goes high in the air. Mastro Domenico's there to settle it for Notre Dame. Michigan State, after those first few chances for Notre Dame, it seems like last 5 minutes, Steve, they've made life pretty tough for Notre Dame to generate really any kind of opportunities.
Yeah, Notre Dame had those early looks, and a goaltender, Trey Augustine, obviously making some big stops. But you know, since that time, again, the momentum seems to have switched back to Michigan State. And you know, this is something I didn't see last night in their game, Tony, is their speed. And they're playing with a lot more speed in this hockey game. It's translating into some, you know, offensive chances coming off the rush. And that's how they have scored at least one of their goals tonight.
We talked a lot about Notre Dame's 3rd period scoring, outscoring opponents by 16 on the year. Jeff Jackson's pointed out Tony Rolinski, their strength coach, being a key part of that. Michigan State, we talked to Adam Nightingale. He mentioned Will Morlock, their strength coach, is a big key for why they've been so good this year. Especially late games as well, as Davis is on his way in and he's taken down from behind as he was moving in on net.
I consider that a good penalty. Gucciardi stopped a pretty good scoring opportunity for Jaden Davis, his 4th line out there generating something. The feed from Fleming, Davis heading hard to the net, gets hooked on the play, and we'll listen for the call.
Michigan State, number 7, 2 minutes for hooking.
Jaden Davis, after 2 periods of play. And there you see the hook. And that puck he was going to wedge it, and Instead, his hands get wedged, and Gucciardi in the penalty box.
Well, he said this has looked more like Michigan State tonight. That includes now the 5 penalties. Right around their average of 5.5 per game. This is how they play. It's worked out well for them this year. Irish need one now. They have another power play opportunity. They are scoreless on the power play this weekend, and it's cleared into the Irish zone.
You just can't have any unforced errors. You know, you've got the extra man out there. Somebody's got to be open. Unfortunately, Hunter Strand tried to force a pass, and Hunter Strand's, Jeff Jackson mentioned it, been really good on the power play of late, but you know, when you force things and you want things to happen, sometimes you end up turning it over, and it was an easy clear for Michigan State.
The time they couldn't set it up. Webster takes it the other way with speed into the Irish zone. He's content to go into the corner and kill some time here. Strand, though, is able to poke it free, and the Irish can bring it back. Bavaro finds Fisher coming off the bench. It's a back for Bavaro. Shot didn't get through. It's loose and swept out. Good work by Lebster.
Yeah, at the end of a shift too, and that was a bouncing puck. He had to make contact with it, and he did.
Justin Janicki gloves down a puck. Now Bavaro has it, works his way in, tries to get a shot off. Couldn't do so, but Justin Janicki's right there. 25 seconds left. Nelson for Bavaro. Back it goes for Janicki. Down low looking for his brother Trevor. It's out of his reach, and then Fisher's feed is broken up by Russell. Fisher's going to play the puck all the way ahead for Nelson. It's along the wall. Bavaro just wants to get one towards net in the final seconds of the power play. And that's going to end the power play. It's also going to take us to the final timeout on the ice. 8:52 to go in regulation, and Michigan State making it look clinical here in the third. 3-0 Michigan State has the lead. Big reason why is their outstanding freshman goaltender Trey Augustine.
Yeah, there's an economy of movement here. He's making difficult saves look easy, but he's not all over the place, although he did pull the snow angel on that Paul Fisher save. But for the most part, he reads the play well, he's square to the shooter, and his reflexes are outstanding. Very similar in build to Ryan Bischel, both 6'1". Oh, that was a redirection and a good stop. Wow.
Great time for that highlight package, because you get to see another one right off the faceoff.
Well, that's the thing. You know, it's one thing to make a save when you see the puck coming from 65 feet and it doesn't change direction. Here, yeah, that got tipped right at the last second. Not sure if it would have counted because it might have been over the level of the shoulder. But Augustine made the save anyway.
Here's Sedum. His shot deflects up and out of play. Well, this is the 18th Big Ten game of the year for Michigan State. Augustine now is up to 30 saves, which means in all 18 games in the Big Ten, he's managed to make 27 or more saves. That's pretty remarkable that he's at 27 or more in every game in the Big Ten. You see he's up to 30 tonight. His season high is 44. It's also a career high. Game against Minnesota.
Well, out of South Lyon, Michigan, which not too far from East Lansing, closer to Detroit, actually.
Here's Pluzinski, whose shot deflects up.
Geary knocked that out of midair, and I think a good thing. I don't know if we'll get a replay of this. This puck might have been coming down towards the top of the net, maybe into the net, but Geary just kind of bats it out of midair, and it is a high stick. Now watch this puck. It goes skyward, and where is it going? Oh no, I'm sorry. It was behind the net, so.
You took any, you don't want to take a risk there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Results in an offensive zone draw for the Irish. Spartans find a way out easily. Larson finds O'Connell. His shot goes in! Gavin O'Connell makes it 4-0 Michigan State.
Tony talked about the fact he hasn't scored a lot in the last half dozen or so games, but we talked to his head coach Adam Nightingale about the youngster. He said he gained 16 pounds in the offseason and he lost some fat, so he is an athlete. He's also a pretty good shooter. And that one, you know, maybe knuckled on Bischel.
May have been deflected by Savage. He put his hand up.
Yeah, you know what, you're right. Watch 21. The quick shot, and then it skips.
Yeah.
So it might have been redirected by Savage.
Wow. Red Savage with the 4th goal of the night for Michigan State. Where's 21? Steve, I'm not sure if you're entirely familiar with hip-hop community, but 21 Savage is a famous rap artist, and that is why he wears number 21. His older brother, Ryan Savage, when they're at Miami, wore 21. Then he comes here to play after Ryan was done with Miami. 21 Savage is what you see on the back of his jersey, and he's got his 9th goal of the year.
I appreciate the explanation because I'm certainly not familiar with 21 Savage. Run DMC.
yes, that's probably more your era. I had to confirm with the SID for Michigan State, Jamie Baldwin, just to make sure, and she did confirm. This is a 21 Savage fan, and he's come through with his 9th goal of the year, and really an exclamation point on the night for Michigan State. They've looked sharp. This is a great bounce back for them. It was the first time all year, first time in nearly a year that they'd lost back-to-back games in Big Ten play. They've just been so good. And for them to not have to think about a losing streak over this next weekend, I think, is really important for them.
Yeah. Well, they were the talk of the town over the first 3 months of this hockey season. And then, you know, maybe hit a little bit of a bump. You know, splitting series with Minnesota and Michigan, which isn't bad because both of those are very strong programs. But, yeah, they're back on track here tonight.
And they have a huge weekend series next week against Michigan. One of those games will be at Little Caesars Arena where the Red Wings play. Should be awesome environment there for Michigan State, Michigan. Opportunity for both teams. Michigan, kind of like Notre Dame this weekend, will probably need those games a little bit more than the Spartans as Bischel fights one off through traffic.
Yeah, Levchinov got that through. There's a maze of legs in front. He was just hoping that it would find part of the net.
After this weekend, Notre Dame is only going to have 6 games left on their schedule. Only 2 more at home. That's the weekend after next against Minnesota here. Next weekend they're playing Wisconsin, which you have to be glass half full if you're Notre Dame. That's going to be a Wisconsin team that's probably going to be their 4th in the pairwise this morning. We'll see how their result with Minnesota shakes out today, but very well going to be a top 5 pairwise team for Notre Dame to play on the road. If you get any kind of results next weekend, you're going to probably see the benefit in the rankings on your end.
Yeah, and that's what they have to keep in mind. Even if they lose this hockey game, still an opportunity to move up in pairwise. Their quality, their strength of schedule to close out this regular season is, you know, second to none.
It's Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan to end the year for Notre Dame. Still 4 minutes and 50 seconds, but Michigan State has dominated play here. It would look like this series is destined for a split. And that would mean 3 out of 4 for Michigan State. They would win the season series. And they would also then extend a streak where they've now won 5 of 6 against Notre Dame if you go back to last year's Big Ten quarterfinal series in this building.
Well, it's funny you talked about that series at Michigan State. One of those games, 2-1. The one goal that Notre Dame did score came with 14 seconds to go. Patrick Moynihan scored. So it could have been a shutout, but it was ruined by Moynihan. And they are on their way to a shutout in this hockey game.
It's going to be really interesting to monitor this Michigan State team with all the new faces, the 10 freshmen, the transfers, trying to kind of rebuild this program back up in the second year under Adam Nightingale. You know, they keep winning. The expectations keep growing, but they're going to have a lot of guys in the postseason that just frankly haven't been deep into the tournament and get to the NCAA tournament. A lot of questions will be asked for the first time, and I think it'll be fascinating to see how they respond in East Lansing.
Well, great learning experience for them, and especially for the young guys, and that's how you get experience. And you see their remaining schedule at Michigan, and then they've got Ohio State, 23rd, 24th, and they finish up at Wisconsin.
That last series could be for the bye, Steve. I mean, that could be 1 versus 2, very likely in the conference.
Absolutely right.
Wisconsin's going to have it at home, which is a huge advantage. They've still really technically got the inside track because the Badgers have 2 games in hand. Both Notre Dame and Michigan State will have a bye week between now and the end of the year.
Oh, there's a battle in front of the net. Ryan Bischel getting into it. I think Danny Nelson will get the penalty, but Dorwart took it from both Danny Nelson and Ryan Bischel. You know, he'd seen enough of 28 in his face, so he gave him a shot, but it's Danny Nelson who's going to get the penalty. This is for the call.
Notre Dame, number 11, 2 minutes for a high stick.
High sticking's a call. Could have been roughing, but watch the battle. And Dorwart starts it. The initial cross-check, and there's a shot from Bischel.
Misconduct, abuse of official.
There you see the shot by Bischel, and obviously Danny Nelson said something on the way to the penalty box. He got a 10-minute misconduct. So his night is over. And they'll have to get somebody in the box for 2 minutes.
That's the frustration bleeding over. Imagine Notre Dame's disappointed with tonight. After everything they did last night, to only come out with what appears to be a split will be a little bit disheartening.
It is, but I remember talking to Jeff Jackson earlier this year. He said it's so hard in college hockey, in any conference, to win back-to-back nights.
Yeah.
You know, the team that lost has a chance to redeem themselves. You know, the team that won maybe senses a little bit of relief and they take their foot off the gas. He said it's just so hard to put back-to-back wins together.
This will drop Notre Dame back to 500 in conference play with just 6 games left. There's a lot of importance. You want to get that top 4 seed at least, because that means you can host in the opening round. Now, of course, last year Notre Dame lost at home against this Spartan team. But the way the conference is set up, you can make a case, depending on where Notre Dame is, they actually might not want to get as high as 2 as Mueller's shot ricochets around, because whoever's 2 is going to play Ohio State. And that's probably the only team that if you play in the opening round and win, you might not benefit from as much. If you're a Big Ten team and you win that opening series, and you sweep, for instance, you're going to get a lot of potential points in the pairwise. So if in an ideal world, you might really want to be 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten if you can't get the 1 seed, which now is going to be pretty much impossible for Notre Dame with Michigan State getting to 40 points after tonight.
Yeah, that's a real good point.
Justin Janicki going on a short-handed adventure, kills some time in the Spartan zone. It's a unique schedule this year for Notre Dame as well. They had 34 regular season games on the schedule. Haven't seen it this imbalanced. 21 at home this year. So they're playing home game number 19 tonight. They're going to be 12-7 when the dust settles after this one. And they'll have 2 more against Minnesota 2 weeks from now.
I've kind of liked it though, Tony, because we do the home games.
It benefits us in a big way.
It's been a lot of fun. And of course, we got to thank Jeff Jackson, and let's give a shout out to Notre Dame's SID, Catherine Harvath, who does a fantastic job setting up our meetings with Coach every Wednesday. And
Michigan State, number 26, 2 minutes for interference.
Yeah, well, the 21 home games too for Catherine. You know, she's got to do all the media stuff throughout the week, home or away. But then at home, there's a lot more responsibility, making sure everyone here in South Bend has all the stuff they need, and then managing the press box, stats. There's a lot of stuff that goes in. So obviously appreciate her. We're going to still bother her for one more weekend this year.
Yeah, and ticket requests from some of the color announcers that come into this building.
Yeah, unnamed color announcers.
Yeah. No, she's always great to work with. And while we were gabbing, it was 4-on-4, but now it's 5-on-4, so Notre Dame with a power play.
I figure Spartans want to make sure that they keep the goose egg on the scoreboard here for their netminder. He's been outstanding all weekend. Even in the loss last night, did a lot of heavy lifting to keep it close through 52 minutes.
Yeah, that loss certainly wasn't on him. Obviously, there was an empty net goal, too, so he allowed 3 goals. But, yeah, not much blame on the goaltender there.
Minor for interference at 18.
Fisher gave it away. Here comes Savage in shorthanded. Red Savage is shut down by Bischel.
Great read by Bischel. Fisher turns it over, clear-cut breakaway, and Bischel read his mind.
Michigan State almost had their NCAA leading 8th shorthanded goal right there from Savage. It's been a real weapon for them on the kill this year. Moynihan lines up a one-timer that ricochets up and out of play.
You know, I heard crossbar, but I think it might have hit Augustine first.
Oh.
Maybe off the blocker or shoulder, and then it hit pipe, and then it went into the stands. Watch the one-timer. Let's watch the flight of this path, or flight path of the puck. Oh, yeah. Oh. Maybe a little bit of shoulder, but then certainly crossbar.
I think you're right. I think he did just get enough to deflect it off the post with a crossbar. He's up to 30 saves. $15 seconds left. Clock's under 10, broken up towards the line. One last gasp, puck's deflected, and Michigan State's gonna get the split, and it's the 3rd career shutout for Trey Augustine. The Spartans bounce back in a big way in Game 2.
Yeah, it's not very often Notre Dame gets shut out at home. Michigan State did that. Trey Augustine, fantastic weekend for him, but a really impressive bounce-back performance by the Spartans. And their full credit for this 4-0 win.
Michigan State, a stumble last night. They're back on track. Top 10 team in the country. They have Big Ten and national championship aspirations. Let's see how it goes the rest of the way for them. That's going to do it for us this weekend. My broadcast partner, Steve Conroy, producer Derek Coleman, director Rick Harmon, and the rest of the outstanding crew in South Bend. Tony Simeone saying so long. We'll talk to you in 2 weekends for Notre Dame and Minnesota.